They say they're just being honest. They say they're just concerned. They say they want what's best for you. But every time you leave them, you feel smaller. Listen carefully. Not everyone who criticizes you wants you to improve. Some want you to stay where they are. And yes, hate me for saying this. Sometimes those people are your friends. Sometimes they are your family. That truth hurts more than betrayal. Because betrayal from strangers is expected. But betrayal disguised as advice from close people, that poisons you slowly. Let's get something clear. Real guidance challenges you and supports growth. Jealous criticism only does one thing. It cuts your confidence and calls it realism. They don't say, "I'm proud of you for trying." They say, "Why are you doing this? Who do you think you are? Be realistic. People like us don't do things like that." Listen carefully to that language. It's not advice, it's fear. And fear hates seeing someone escape. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people won't admit. When you start upgrading your life, you become a mirror. And mirrors make people uncomfortable. Your discipline exposes their laziness. Your ambition highlights their excuses. Your growth reminds them of what they gave up. So they criticize, not because you're wrong, but because you're moving. People rarely attack what they don't care about. They attack what threatens their identity. And nothing threatens mediocrity more than someone trying. Let me be ruthless with you. If someone constantly criticizes your effort, your goals, your discipline, your change, they are not protecting you. They are protecting themselves. Because if you succeed, they lose the excuse that it wasn't possible. That's why criticism often increases when you start doing better, not worse. They didn't complain when you were stuck. They didn't warn you when you were average. They didn't question you when you were silent. But the moment you step out, suddenly everyone has an opinion. That's not coincidence. That's insecurity reacting. And here's the coldest part. Jealousy doesn't always look angry. Sometimes it looks concerned. Sometimes it looks jokes. Sometimes it looks like silence after your wins. But it always has the same goal. Pull you back to a level where they feel comfortable. Let me say something that will offend weak minds. You do not owe everyone access to your dreams. Especially people who never built anything, never risked anything, never disciplined themselves, never left their comfort zone. Their criticism has no cost to them, but it costs you momentum. And momentum is fragile. That's why high performers are selective with their circle. Not arrogant, strategic. They don't argue with critics. They remove exposure. They don't explain their vision to people committed to misunderstanding it. They protect their energy like territory. Because negativity spreads faster than motivation. You can survive enemies. You can't survive constant discouragement from people you see every day. That's how dreams die quietly. Not through failure, but through repeated doubt. And yes, sometimes you need distance. Distance is not disrespect. Distance is defense. Defense of your mind, defense of your belief, defense of your future. This doesn't mean hate them. This doesn't mean insult them. This doesn't mean cut off responsibility. It means limit influence. Stop sharing plans with people who only see problems. Stop seeking approval from people who never approved of themselves. Stop asking permission to become better. Let them call you selfish. Let them call you changed. Let them call you unrealistic. Every successful person was called unrealistic by someone who never tried. You're not arrogant for believing in more. You're dangerous, and that scares people. And yes, some people are jealous, not because they want what you have, but because they hate what your growth says about their choices. Jealousy doesn't mean they want your life. It means they resent that you refuse to accept the one they settled for. And here's the savage truth. Some people would rather see you fail than watch you outgrow them. Not consciously, but emotionally. That's why they discourage instead of support. That's why they criticize instead of help. That's why they laugh instead of learn. You don't fix that by convincing them. You fix it by becoming undeniable. Silence your plans, lower your words, raise your standards. Build so loudly that criticism becomes irrelevant. And one day, when results show up, the same people will say, "I always knew you could do it." They didn't. They just don't want to admit they were wrong. By then, it won't matter, because you'll have something stronger than approval: self-respect. Let me end this clearly. Not everyone who shares your blood shares your vision. Not everyone who calls you friend wants you to win. And not every critic is honest. Some are scared, some are bitter, some are comfortable, some are stuck. You don't argue with that. You move. Distance doesn't make you weak, it makes you focused. And focus builds empires. If this hit you, you already know who this was about. Like this if you're done shrinking to make others comfortable. Comment "focused" if you're protecting your growth. Share this with someone who's being pulled back by criticism. And subscribe, not for comfort, but for clarity, discipline, and unapologetic growth. You don't need their approval. You need distance. Build anyway.